Peace, world. What is going on? Happy Friday. Welcome to another Substantial Weekly. Ton of technical issues today, so just please bear with me. Basically, what's going on? My Podcaster Pro, my Podcaster Pro is not functioning. Like it completely like kirked out. I don't know what's going on, so I can't use my typical mic. So the quality will not be what it normally is. You know what I mean? But it's all good. We are here regardless. Just wanted to give y'all heads up out the gate. But happy Friday to everybody, man. Welcome to the channel. If it's your first time, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, share the joint if you don't mind, etc., etc. Hope everybody's doing good, man. Shout out to everyone in the chat. I see y'all been holding it down for a good 24, 30 minutes. Y'all have been live in this joint, man. I appreciate it. Shout out to Early Bird. Shout out to Joshua McGee. Shout out to Steph, y'all. Shout out to who else we got up in here? Soul Tiger, Chi-Town Warrior. What up? Man, good to see everybody in here. Always good to see our regulars. Shout out to any newbies in the building too. Um, let's see what y'all talking about. All right. Let me see if I missed anything already. Man, let's get this up on the screen too so y'all can see it there for those of y'all on your TV. Yeah, yo. So yeah, we're definitely gonna briefly talk about that De La Soul album that just dropped today for sure. Um, what up? What up? What up? Yeah, yo, whole albums though, for sure. Thank you for the compliment on the hoodie. Hey, what up? Uh, Detroit, what's going on? Shout out to you as well. And Renegade Shinobi in the building too. But yeah, man, welcome to everybody. Again, so for those of you who may be watching, I know most of y'all already have your notifications and all of that on, but to everyone else, please make sure you do that so you don't miss these lives if you want to join in, etc., etc. Let me make sure this other thing is set up to go. I just want to check this before we go live. And then I'll tell you why things are kind of in disarray right now and why I am a little more unorganized than normal. I know some of y'all already kind of know what I've been going through personally in the last week, but I'll update everybody at once in a second. Let's make sure this is connected. Gotta make sure I got my slides at least. I mean, it took my mic away. I got my mic here, can't even use it. I do have another device I could run things through, but it's just a much longer. Y'all would have been like we would have been an hour behind schedule. Me just kind of getting that situated, testing it, make sure everything sounds good. Definitely a headache I didn't feel like dealing with. What up, Ousted? Good to see you up in here, man. Welcome. I guess it changed to my other name now for some reason. I knew who you were. You know what I mean? I saw the design in your icon and stuff, and figured it was you, Warpath. Um, all right, let's make sure that's that over there. Boom, did that, did that. We are good money. All right, so everything is handled on that side of town. Let me drop this one last thing here. I'm just trying to do certain things before we start going in, you know? Hold up. Tune in. I appreciate y'all patience. There we go. Linkage. Copy, copy. All right. Done. All right. So let's get into it, man. We got a lot to cover today, and definitely don't want to delay things any further. So let's jump right into it. So, real quick, man. For those that don't know, I haven't been like doing like long or any type of post outside of like little note updates on Instagram. What's been going on with my mom? But my mom just celebrated her 85th birthday. Um, she celebrated her 85th birthday on November 8th. Shout out to all the Scorpios, man. Scorpio season is almost over, but I got a lot of Scorpios in my family, a lot of friends who are Scorpios. We're going to talk about one of those friends today. But yeah, so I wasn't able to see my mom on her birthday because I had an event at George Mason that I did. And yeah, so long story short, the following weekend, this past weekend, I decided to go down and see my mom. But also she had a doctor's appointment that I was going to take her to. So I went down there to do that. Everything's everything. You know, we're kicking it, you know what I mean? Like watching TV and doing what we're doing. Next morning we get up, we have breakfast. Everything's cool. We talking about what we're going to do after the doctor's appointment before I head back home. My mom lives in North Carolina, about 3 hours away from where I currently live. So everything's everything. It's a beautiful day. We go to the doctor's appointment, and then the doctor lets us know that they had some concerns about my mom's heart rate. My mom's heart rate was really low. Meanwhile, her blood pressure was really high. And so, yeah, it was concerning. Doctor comes back in the room like, yeah, I think you should take your mom to the ER. So, you know, I call the family, let them know what's going on and stuff. Tell the missus it looks like I'm going to have to stay the night because my mom just has been admitted to the hospital and stuff. We were in the ER, and then they moved us into the joint. So long story short, man, I literally just got home yesterday, like last night, so Thursday night. I've been there since Sunday night. My mom's doing better now, you know, and it looks like they're going to release her today. But like a lot of tests and stuff like that, just a lot of concerns with her heart and stuff. You know, she's had sisters who've dealt with congestive heart failure and things like that, and you know, and my mom's been through it. Diabetes, high blood pressure. What else am I missing? What was diabetes, high blood pressure. She also, like, you know, fought she's a breast cancer survivor. My mom's been through a lot. And yeah, man, so needless to say, this has not been easy. Like I've been, you know, obviously what I've gone through there's no comparison to what my mom was going through, but she, for the most part, was in good spirits and didn't feel really bad. But she, you know, other than like dealing with shortness of breath, now her oxygen levels are back up, so she's doing better now. But I know some of y'all, you know, who who were actually friends, like outside of, you know what I mean, interacting online, have known, you know, and been texting me and stuff like that, man. Shout out to Early. You know, shout out to my sisters, shout out to my brother who's now with my mom and stuff. But yeah, it's been stressful to say the least, man. So I just want to let y'all know if it seems like I've been like quiet at all these last few days, man. Just really been handling family biz. But again, man, shout out to my mom. Great. Yeah, I know Steph. Shout out to Steph, man. Steph, who's a caregiver for her mom. Anybody who's had to do that, like for your loved ones and stuff, it's a lot. You know what I mean? Like I said, I've been at the hospital from Sunday night to Thursday afternoon, and then I drove home yesterday. And it was just like, you know, a lot of like helping my mom get around, picking up her mail and stuff like that, staying on hospital staff to make sure she had what she needed and stuff, getting to know my mom, making sure she's like doing some type of activity, because my mom is very much, you know, one of those people that, hey, look, I'm old now, you know what I mean? I ain't trying to do nothing. Y'all can go. Can you go? Don't you want to go get me? Don't you want to go get me this? Don't you want? No, I love you, so I will go get you that. But it wasn't. I didn't wake up and be like, hey, let me go run to. No, that wasn't what I had on the agenda. But for you, I will do it. Yeah, she's one of those, man. And so yeah, it's been. I mean, the dopest part about it has been just like spending a lot of time with her and stuff. It's probably the most time I've spent with my mom since we like went on like a little mini vacay a couple years ago. So but yeah, man, so shout out to you, those of you who did know and was sending prayers up and stuff, and you know, and like yeah, it's one of them things, man. Like where I don't. It's one of those things where it's like I didn't want to. The reason why I didn't do a huge post online, like telling everybody and stuff like that, is because the thing you always got to consider in these moments is like your family follows you too. And for me, I don't want the first time my family members hear about this stuff is through an Instagram post. You know what I mean? Or no shit like that. So like a lot of the last few days has just been being in contact with them, and I've been like the main point of contact, updating my family for every test and stuff that she's had. Chill Air Arts, man, peace, happy Mochi, peace. Good to see everybody up in here. But yeah, man, appreciate it. Appreciate all the love and support. Yeah, man, happy belated ousted. You know. Let's see what other comments we got. Prayers up. Thank you, early man. I appreciate you, Steph. It's all love, yo. Scorpio mom, sheesh. Hey, let me tell you something about Scorpios. Let me take my mom off the screen for a second. Hey, man, let me tell you something about these Scorpios. Oh man, I love y'all dearly. I do. But man, I was joking with my sister the other day. Shout out to my sister Stacy. I was joking with her. I was like, um, man, we gonna need to like ban effing in the month of February until further notice. I'm gonna need like 5 years of just like no babies being made in February. You know what I mean? Like, so we can get a break with these Scorpio birthdays. Jesus. Hey man, listen. You ready? Three of my five sisters are Scorpios. Three of them. Three of them. That's crazy, fam. Here we go. My nephew, my mom, I said three of my sisters, my brother, um, my cousin's birthday was yesterday. Was talking to him. We about to talk about another one in a minute who I'm gonna shout out. And like, yo, it's crazy. Like, it's so many of them. And I'm not even naming everybody. Shout out to Sherm the Barber. He's a Capricorn like me, but he's married to Scorpio. Shout out to Nicole. Um, Shout out to my cousin Tasha. My wife's cousin, man. Like, also a Scorpio. It's a lot, yo. It's a lot. It's a lot of y'all. It's a lot of y'all. You know what I mean? And that's just the people I can think of off the top of my head. Because I feel like there's been some other people I've been shouting out online. Oh, shout out my man DJ Action, also a Scorpio. But yeah, y'all deep. Y'all deep. Y'all are deep. I'm gonna need folks come. Look, they are doing a great job marketing Valentine's Day because they're producing a lot of y'all in the world, and we need y'all to chill out. We need y'all to chill out. I love y'all. I do. I love y'all dearly. Y'all some of my favorite people. But god damn, there's a lot of y'all. Y'all deep. Y'all are deep. So that being said, I just wanted to update y'all real quick on how my mom's doing and stuff, and thank those of you who did know and reached out and stuff like that, and all that good stuff. But Steph, yeah, both your parents, Jesus, that's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot, man. That's a lot. I've been listening to your music for a while. Just found your Insta. Creative Mind Frame. Yeah, Creative Mind Frame is the homie, man. We've done songs together. Did a song together for one of his recent projects. Shout out to Creative Mind Frame. Really great brother right there. And also a Ninja Warrior. Fun fact. You know what I mean? Creative Mind Frame was on Ninja Warrior back in the day. Let's see other updates. Yes, shout out to the brother YU who's still on his path to recovery. He's doing a lot better, man. In good spirits, taking a day at a time. I was reaching out to him while I was in the hospital because while I was there, the most time I've spent in the hospital recently was like kicking it with him. The 2 times I went up to see him, and oh word, hey Luke, that's dope, man. That's super dope. Didn't know that. Wow. All right. And thank you, Steph. Appreciate that. Yeah, man. But yeah, YU said he's in good spirits and stuff. I was just checking in with him because I was letting them know. I was like, man, I was thinking about you. I'm at the hospital now with my mom and stuff like that, and so I figured I'd check in with you, see how you doing. And he was like, man, I'll send a prayer up for your mom. And he's just taking it a day at a time. You know, going through like his physical therapy and all of that. Trying to be stay on the mend and stuff. But shout out to the brother YU. Definitely wanted to let y'all know. Hadn't forgot about him as well. What up, nephew? Peace, chat. Happy Friday. Who got plans for Thanksgiving this year? I'm just doing a potluck with some of our cousins, man. So we're excited about that. Yo, stop the presses. Hold up. 1 second. Everyone stop what we're doing because we got to take a minute to acknowledge something amazing that just happened. Shout out to Happy Mochi, one of our personal favorites in the chat. Like, always showing love, helped build the Discord, or like built the Discord out. But thank you so much, sis. I appreciate you. Starting off these super chats. Happy early Thanksgiving to you and yours, Stan. Hope everybody stays healthy, wealthy, healthy, and blessed. Ever grateful for your words of wisdom you share so freely with us. I'll be local next week. Let's get some grub. Absolutely. We will definitely do that. Got a few spots we could check out. So we'll figure it out. Definitely. But thank you, sis. Means a lot. You know what I mean? Hold on 1 second. Good old, they might have took away my board. My board died, y'all. It's no power. I don't know what happened, but they might have took away my board, but I still got some sound effects. So thank you for the contribution. Everybody clap it up. Appreciate you, sis. Thank you so much. But yeah, man. So I did put up a goal right now on YouTube for the super chats. If we hit 5 today, my goal is to have like a special guest next week for Black Friday. Won't tell you who the guest is, but that got a few folks that got some things going on that I think would be cool to have them come on the show, But yeah, so as I mentioned, my Thanksgiving plans, just linking up with our cousins and doing a potluck and stuff like that. It's kind of what I did the year before, minus the potluck, but just the cousins were on my side of the family as opposed to my wife's side. So it should be cool. My brother and his family coming down from Harlem for Turkey Day. Dope. That's what's up. That's what you get for booing me the other week. Oh, man. And so what Early's saying is he came through and sabotaged my situation for booing him. But yo, so we were talking about Scorpios before. Super happy birthday shout out to the homie DL. Yeah, man. He's on this side of things and stuff, on this side of the pond for a few days. So, man, planning to link up with him. He's just, taking some time for himself. But yeah, man, we're gonna link up Monday. Was super excited to see that he was on this side. But yeah, man, shout out to my brother DL. Definitely a great artist, but more importantly, a great dude. All right. Let's see. Hold on. All right. So let's get into some other things real quick. So first things first. Oh, wait, hold up. Man, shout out to Chi-Town Warrior. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you for the contribution. Clap it up for him. Man, thank both you and Happy Mochi for donating to the channel. Looks like this week's payout or this month's payout from YouTube is going toward either repairing my Roadmaster Pro or getting a new device for the podcast and stuff. Do have something that my daughter has or whatever that I may be able to use in its place, but we will see. You know what I mean? I'll keep y'all posted. Also, man, shout out to the channel members over here on YouTube. Shout out to Lozo, and also shout out to Happy Mochi, both who are channel members, man. I appreciate y'all. We'll break that down in a minute. But while I got everybody's attention, this is something I need you to do. For everyone who is on Bandcamp, everyone that's on Bandcamp, you will see a link in the description of this video, but I will also drop it in the chat really quickly. Follow Substantial Art and Music, please, on Hold on. Financial art and music. Follow us on Bandcamp, please, because we got a lot of stuff going on, man. Music going to be coming and stuff, and updates that you can get over there. All right. So link is in the chat. Oh, hold up. We got the super chats popping, man. Thank you so much, family. Shout out to Lozo175. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. You know what I mean? Shout out to all of y'all, man. Thank you for the contribution, you know? But again, man, like, you know, I just wanted to encourage y'all, go over to Bandcamp, follow us there. As you can see, there's been some updates for those of y'all who didn't know we were on Bandcamp, the company, which is owned by my wife and I. You know, so obviously we work with Javier Starks, but we also got Millen, who recently has been talking with us about some things that we're doing together in the future to further his career. And of course, Bob Alloy and myself, you know, Bob Alloy releasing stuff through both our company and Marcus D's company, Absolute Zero, you know, when we self-release. But definitely wanted to just remind y'all to follow us on Bandcamp, so that way, you know, you can get notified not just of my releases, but get notified about when Millen has something dropping, Javier, who has a project that's done, when that's dropping, Bob Alloy, and me, all that good stuff. So you can get all of these updates. But we're going to spend some time talking about what some of my friends are doing, where like every week going forward, I'm going to have a portion of the show called My Friends Are Dope, where we just spend some time talking about like all of the different things that I'm aware of that my friends got going on. So any of my friends that's watching live too, definitely just make sure like by Thursday or early Friday going forward, if y'all got something that y'all want me to promote. And again, this is mostly for the people I know personally, or like artists that I'm collaborating with and stuff like that. You know, just an effort by me to do a better job to let folks know what my friends got going on. But stop the presses for a second. Shout out to Steph, y'all. Steph just made it a contribution right now to the channel. Thank you so much, sis. I appreciate you. You are the best. You know what I mean? Thank you for keeping me in mind off these polls. One contribution at a time. He said, finally received my pay. Thank you for, oh man, yo, big clap it up for that. Just read that. Shout out to all the essential employees and stuff, man, who were affected by the government shutdown. And, you know, like just grateful that y'all are in a better position now. And some of y'all have been paid. I talked to a few. I talked to my niece who's still waiting to be paid. And, you know, man, I just, you know, I hope things, if it hasn't gotten better for you already, I hope things are getting on the verge of getting better real soon, you know? But yeah, man, can't wait to hear another Millen collab. Yo, most definitely. But more importantly, man, if y'all haven't really checked out Millen's music, you should do that. And so for those of you who didn't know, that Millen is on Bandcamp, this is something I've been pushing to him for a while, because he's very much like a lot of people who are a lot younger than me, where they're very like streaming focused, very focused on like Spotify and sites like that. But Millen, man, if you haven't been paying attention to his Bandcamp, you should definitely follow him on Bandcamp. Hashtag My Friends Are Dope. Millen right now has a bunch of music that he's been adding to his Bandcamp channel, like making sure that his back catalog is available. So highly recommend that you go over there and check it out. He has a new song that's going to be dropping today on Bandcamp. He's dropping the maxi single. So for those of you who love his voice, want to hear him do his thing, highly recommend you go over there. The new single is going to have the song, the instrumental, and the acapella. Yeah, man, so definitely check that out. Quick sidebar. Thank y'all for the compliment on the hoodie. It's funny, man, like this hoodie, because I saw the comment earlier and I can't remember if I said thank you, but I did want to point out with this hoodie, it was so random how I got the joint. I was in Romania, and like we all were just kind of hanging out because we were off during the early part of the day before we worked in the evening. And Yeah, man. Like we were at the mall and I happened to see this hoodie, and it's funny, the sneakers that I wear with it or whatever I cop that same day. But it was just wild, like, I mean, we all have been in a different place and then see something that culturally is based on things from, a different region. But I was like, yeah, man, it's pretty fire. So thank you for the love. You know what I mean? I'd tell you where to get it, but I don't know. I can't remember what the store was or any of that. You know what I mean? I just know I got it randomly, and it wasn't even in Bucharest. It was like in Timișoara, which is like I think the capital city, and it's a smaller city, But shout out to Romania. Shout out to the homies out there, man. Shout out to my man Woody, and then also shout out to Cypher. All right, more dope stuff that friends have dropped on Bandcamp, man. Shout out to Word Slave and Black Root. These are frequent collaborators of mine, brothers who I've worked with more than a few times. In the past, I've done music with both of these dudes. You've heard Word Slave on you've heard him on the Bop Alloy remixes and revision, the R&R project, and then you've heard Black Root on Salt and Pepper, but they have a new single that just dropped on Bandcamp. Go check those brothers out. It's called Radical Acceptance. Shout out to the homie Black Root. Hold on. It says maybe a reverse image search could find something. I don't know. We will figure it out. We will figure it out for sure. All right. Let's see. And then let me see. Oh, and also shout out to the homie AJ Rios. You can pre-order his album right now on Bandcamp. Bandcamp. The album's called Until Tomorrow. So with all of these projects, man, definitely check all these brothers out. It's just a quick go on bandcamp.com. You can search any of their names and look up their new projects and stuff. That song that just dropped with me, AJ Rios, on AJ Rios's album, but it's featuring Joe D, me, YU, and DJ RBI. Super dope, super dope. But yeah, this is the cover art here. Definitely check that out as well. All right. So now let's talk about this De La Soul project, yo. I'm bringing up some stuff in the background so we can have a point of reference for the joint. But yeah, man, album is tough. The album is definitely tough. Hold on one second. Just trying to load up this image. Hold up. Nah, I'm not gonna use that one. Let's go to the track list joint. Got it. No, that's stupid. That one was trash. We don't use that image. Hold up. That should be better. That'll work. Okay, back. All right, cool. So let's pause this stuff and bring this up real quick. My apologies for the awkward pauses, but hold on. I started crying at the second to the last song, but the last one, Q Waterworks. Yo, fam. Yeah, man. I didn't cry. I didn't cry, but there were definitely a couple moments where I was on the verge of tears. It's dope. It's a dope record. Let's share this image real quick. Share screen. Hold on. Okay, and let's bring this in. Hold on. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna just put it up like this for now, just so we can hold on, just so I can see the joint. I'm trying to figure out what's gonna be the best option here. All right, bet. So yo, this is the track list for the album. The album is 20 tracks. 20 tracks. First off, let me just say the production on this album. Yeah, man, like the production on this album is phenomenal. Like it's really dope. Let's just start with the fact that man, they got Giancarlo Esposito as like just doing voiceover throughout the album. If you don't know who that actor is, man, I'm gonna pray for you. You know what I mean? Especially if you claim to love cinema. Giancarlo Esposito is a phenomenal actor. Has done a ton of work with Spike Lee. Probably most notably, he was Gus on what's the joint? Breaking Bad. And it's been in a ton of other projects. But he does out the gate, man. I love the intro. De La Soul has had some of the best intros in hip hop history, best interludes in hip hop history. So I love listening to this album, feeling like back in the day where albums had interludes and intros and things like that just kind of guided you along the journey. And De La Soul has always done a great job with that. So out the gate, man, the Cabin Talk joint where they treat it like a classroom and everybody that contributed to the album are treated like students. Where it's like Giancarlo is doing attendance and everybody like from DJ Premier to Nas or anyone featured on the record, Black Thought, etc., all do the check-in. Yeah, man, like it's just super dope. Some of my favorite songs on the joint. I love Run It Back with Nas. Run It Back with Nas is dope. Don't Push Me is super dope. Cabin in the Sky, the title track, is super dope. What's it? A Quick 16 for Mom is dope too. I will say this early. You got my expectations up. You know what I mean? Like kind of saying what you said to me before. And like it was cool. It was cool. It's definitely a dope song. But in terms of mother songs, like, because there's so many great tributes to people's mothers and stuff in hip hop or in music in general. So it didn't hit me the way I thought it was going to hit me, especially considering what my week was like. But it is dope. It is dope. But it didn't have the effect on me that I thought it was going to have. What's the other joint? NF with Black Thought. That joint is one of my faves as well. The joint with Yours with Common and Slick Rick, another hard joint. What's the oh my god, what's the one with Pete Rock? My god, because that was like the first single. New De La, produced by Pete Rock. Trying to remember. Yeah, it's the Cabin in the Sky song. Hold on. No, that's the album. Wait a minute. Hold on. All on my the package. Yeah, that joint. Cause I love Dave's verse on that joint. Oh my god. Yeah, the package is fire. It's definitely, man. The album's dope. I don't know if it's definitely one of the top rap albums I've heard this year. It's too early to say it's my favorite. Like, as I've gotten older, I'm like hyper aware of recency bias. And so I think I'm past the whole like the week something comes out being like, yo, this is the best dropped all year. It's like, come on, son. Calm down. See if you're listening to it in a week and still feel the same way, right? See if you're listening to it in a month and still feel the same way. I definitely, probably one of the rap albums I played the most this year is the Clipse new album and stuff. And I will say that the Clipse album, while I love it, there's definitely tracks on there I love more than others. And that's also true of this project, where it's like there are certain moments, like that intro had me so hyped, and then I love what they did with the intro. But it takes a few songs before I really feel like, okay, now we're really going. Like, there's a couple joints in the beginning where it's like they're dope, but let's be real. De La's had so much crazy music over the years. That, and like De La is one of my favorite rap groups. For those who don't know, De La Soul is one of my favorite rap groups of all time. I will say this though. I need everybody in the chat. I want you, if you're in the chat right now, I want to know who here doesn't really listen to De La Soul like that. And let's go a step further. How many of y'all like, have never listened to a whole De La Soul album? I'd really be interested to know that, because I think this is a moment. I think one of the greatest failures in hip hop culture, not rap music, but in hip hop culture, is that we're in this weird space where a lot of older heads are sticking with the older heads and don't really spend time with the younger hip hop heads, not just on the music tip, but maybe in some of the other elements as well. Just kind of passing on tradition, passing on like, different things and experiences we have in the culture. So I want to use this moment where if there's anybody who's not really, whether you're not a De La fan, like their stuff, but it ain't really your cup of tea, or if you're a person that just like, to be honest, you've never really listened to De La Soul. Let's talk about it, man. Definitely got some recommendations for you. Early, have a great one, bro. Good seeing you, man. Let's see. Luke says, I still got to listen to the De La album and the new MF Grimm features on by Gray Mouse Beats, I think. Okay, I haven't heard the MF Grimm joint, but thank you for the heads up. The only De La song I've listened to in recent memory is a roller skating jam named Saturdays. That's on my Dance in Your Car playlist. Now is the time to act a fool tonight. Come on, everybody, and you will be all right. It's Saturday. Love that joint. Yo, shout out to Vinny Mojica, who sings that chorus. Dope record. That album that's from, that's the De La Soul is Dead album. For a lot of people, that's one of their best albums. Of course, their debut, 3 Feet High and Rising, another great record. Then Balloon Mind State followed that joint. Stakes is High, crazy album. That's when you really started, when they started working with like Dilla, and doing some joints, because he produced like the title track of that record. Super MCs is a fire record off that album. And then yeah, hey, yeah, hey, where the ladies at? Yeah, these dudes have amazing records, and lyrically, these dudes have aged like fine wine. They probably, of some of the older rappers, I would say they have the least cringy shit when you go back and listen to their catalog. Let's be real. A lot of this shit in rap music not all, but a lot of it, not even, I ain't saying most. I'm just saying there's a lot of rap music that has not aged well. Meaning that a lot of us discover this stuff when we're young, where we don't care about offending certain people, or maybe like, our moral compass is we're still figuring shit out. So we let a lot of stuff slide. I mean, we're being real. There's stuff I've said earlier in my career that, I dropped and like, listen, I never say that shit now, because one, I don't feel like that now. And the funny thing is, even back then when I said some of the stuff, it wasn't how I actually felt. It was just something cool to say, or something disrespectful to say to a rapper, the imaginary whack MC we would talk about, right? But I feel like De La Soul, their catalog has aged better than a good majority of people in this music. You know what I mean? Like, and that's just, I don't even think it's debatable. But, of course, like, man, all of this shit is subjective. But in terms of, like they've never been completely squeaky clean, but like their shit has just always been very grounded. It didn't feel like they were exaggerating all the time. It just felt like very grounded and real. Like these dudes were dudes from around the way who's just observing the world and giving you their perspective, right? And I ain't saying all of their shit has aged well, but a good majority of their catalog, in my opinion, has aged better than most of this shit in terms of rappers from their era. Because we're talking about late 80s. You know what I'm saying? To now. Let's get to these comments real quick, though. And let's make this a bit smaller for now. But yeah, man, that roller skating jam joint named Saturday is one of my favorite. Drop some Rex anyway. Yeah, so couple recommendations I would have, like, for me bring up. So I'll put some song recommendations out here, but I'll tell you flat out, for anyone who's never really listened to De La Soul, I'd say, man, go listen to their whole catalog. Go listen to their whole catalog. But if we gotta recommend some albums, right? If you want something that's more modern, or like feels not like I wouldn't say like it feels more modern, but it is it's like just some of the greatest production they've had all on one record. The Grind Date, the Grind Date is 20 years old now, which is crazy to say. But that album, yo, songs like Verbal Clap that Dilla did. Like, in fact, y'all have heard me sample that like Black Man Get On Your Job. Like, I've sampled that 2 different times. It's from that song Verbal Clap. I told you they're one of my favorite groups. Another Dilla produced joint, Much More with Bingham, who's on their new album. Super dope. A joint they did with Madlib. This is all one album, okay? A joint they did with Madlib called Shopping Bags, which is like a more mainstream, probably one of their more mainstream sounding songs from De La, but Shopping Bags is fire. And Madlib produced it. It's crazy. The song The Grind Date is fire. Church on that album, I think the Ninth Wonder do that beat. You hear the list of producers on this shit? It's crazy. Church is fire. It's Like That with Carl Thompson. Thomas, it's cool. It's not one of my favorites on the joint, but the song He Comes with Ghostface Killer is bonkers. That's just crazy. Days of Our Lives with Common, Pete Common, De La and Common, whenever they get together, top tier lyricism shit, like every time. What was it? Another joint off that album that's dope is the joint No featuring Butter Verses. Look at that pelican fly. That shit's crazy. But the joint that most people know from this album is probably Rock Cocaine Flow with MF Doom. Crazy joint. Jake One on the beat. That particular album by De La is crazy. It's crazy. Like, from the intro to the last song, there's damn near no skips on that shit. And it feels, it doesn't even, like, to me, that album doesn't feel 20 years old. There's artists making shit that sounds like this album right now. So I would say that if you've never listened to De La before, I'm not saying this is the album that sounds like everything they do, but in terms of like, yo, maybe you like production that would sound like it's like, you know, you would find on a Little Brother record, or like you like really soulful production and rappers who were saying some shit. Like, De La's always had some great lyricism, right? Like the subtle stuff, the stuff that when you replay it, you're catching shit years later. You know, raise your guns or your glasses. Either way, there'll be a toast in the air. Fam. Chef's kiss, man. Yo, R.I.P. Dave, man. R.I.P. Dave, yo. Like that, yeah, when they on the new album, when they are doing the check-in for all the artists, and then they do Dave last, like where like each artist is like present here, blah blah blah, some like funny thing they would say or something unique they would say, and it gets to Dave, and of course there's no response, and yeah, yo, like out the gate, like I'm fighting it now, like I'm about to move on right now because yeah, it was hard, man. It was hard to hear that. But yeah, but again, I definitely recommend the new album. Check it out. The new album is dope. But if we're going back to their back catalog, the Grind Date to me is like one of their flawless record, damn near perfect record. The classic joint that everybody knows and stuff, you know, which is crazy. This album's like 36, what was it? 36 years old now, which is crazy to say, but 3 Feet High and Rising. Like, you know, you want to hear that vintage De La, what really blew them up. It's a great record because it's so experimental. Like, there was nothing like this record at the time. It's old school. Most popular record from that album is Me, Myself, and I. And then probably after that, 3, That's the Magic Number. Which a lot of you, if you saw Spider-Man No Way Home, then you know that song from the end credits and stuff. But that's from that album. Amazing album. One of the most creative things, like definitely, I would say maybe top 5 most creative rap albums, definitely from that era. But like in terms of how groundbreaking it was at the time, like they were sampling all types of stuff. And literally they were looked at like, people were talking about them like the Beatles of rap or some shit. You know what I mean? Tribe has gotten that comparison as well. But pause for a second. Let's show some love and go to these comments. Super thank you to Cloud Kick, man. We hit our goal today. Thank you for the contribution. Seriously, man, greatly appreciate you donating to the channel. Clap it up. Thank you, fam. But yeah, man, it's refreshing. You're continuing your grind. Your music's been through all the phases in my life. Ultimate blessings to you, brother. Yo, fam, I appreciate that, man. Thank you. It means a lot. Yeah, I'm grateful. Oh, hold up. You said +1? Dispirited Black Man. I don't know what you're referring to, but shout out to you. Hold on. Oh, you're agreeing. Yeah, agreeing with Cloud Kick. Yeah, I had to look on the other screen so I could see what you were referring to. Hey, hold up. Take a second. Shout out my sister. What up, Stacy? Yeah, man. Clap it up for my sister in the building. Good to see you up in here. There's also, hey, shout out to AJ Rios in the building. Clap it up for him as well. Clap it up for all the homies coming through today. Was talking about your album on Bandcamp earlier, man. But shout out to AJ Rios. So AJ says there's also a Dilla remix of The Business that's amazing. MJ Flip. Yeah, man. Classic joint. Forever is a Sleeper 2, produced by Young RJ. Word. All right, so let's get back to some more recommendations, some more De La Soul recommendations. Definitely on Balloon Mind State. Balloon Mind State got a lot of great records too. Break of Dawn, which is it's probably the most popular song off the album, but for great reason. It's a really, really dope De La Soul song. And also Ego Trippin'. Ego Trippin' is really, really dope from that album. What's my other joint from here? Those are probably like my two favorites off top, or the ones I play the most from the album. But there's a lot of dope production on that record. I will say an album that doesn't get as much love from De La, and this is the album they crowdfunded, where they raised, I think, almost $250,000 or something like that for this record. The Anonymous Anonymous Nobody. There's some great songs on the joint. I like that Pain joint with Snoop Dogg. It's an underrated joint. It don't sound, again, this record don't sound like a lot of De La joints, but there's a lot of dope shit on it. You know what I mean? It's an interesting record. Memory of Us with Pete Rock and Estelle. Fire song. Super fire. The Royalty Capes beat is crazy. That's how they I think that's track 2 on the album. Then what's the joint? Joint with Rock Marciano. That's a property of Spit Kickers. That was a collab that definitely was not on my bingo card. but it's dope. I like Drawn with Little Dragon. That shit's dope. On this record. Again, this is probably one of their more, in my opinion, one of their more underappreciated records. And then what's another one on this album? Wasn't where's the joint with 2 Chainz? Wasn't 2 Chainz on this album too? Hold on, I can't find the yeah. Houdini with 2 Chainz. Another collab that was not on my bingo card, fam. But that shit is fire. Houdini with 2 Chainz definitely is a slept on joint or a dope joint on that record. Other dope De La joints on Bionics. So Bionics, man. Bionics has one of my favorite De La Soul songs of all time, which is Trying People. Trying People is a record that I could not play for years without crying. Like, it's beautiful, man. Like, when Dave passed away, it was the song that I put under the images of Dave and stuff that I had was posting around. And yeah, Trying People's dope. Like the lyrics on it, the sample, how they flipped it, everything about that song is beautiful. Another J Dilla produced joint that's fire is the song Peer Pressure, which is about like being pressured into smoking weed. Crazy beat. Dope collab with Be Real from Cypress Hill. Love that joint. Another one on this record that's fire is Watch Out with the salsa sample. Crazy, 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 crazy. Baby Fat with one of my unsung heroes in rap music, Devin the Dude. Devin the Dude in the song Baby Fat. That shit is fire, super fire. I love the video with it with all the big girls. Shout out to the big girls. You know what I mean? But yo, super dope joint. The song Bionics, hard as hell. So yeah, those are joints from the AOI Bionic. I'm giving y'all a ton of recommendations. I hope y'all writing this shit down or come back to this video later. But yeah, man, some classic joints. Another dope De La album I already mentioned before, Stakes is High. Check that joint out. It's a ton of dope joints. I know I already mentioned, obviously, the title track. Super MCs, The Business, amazing records. Dog Eat Dog was dope. What's the joint? Oh, It's So Easy. Oh my God, It's So Easy, which is just Dave killing it. Why you acting on and Shiesty? The only Italians you know is Ices. Crazy. And one of my favorite moments in that music video is he's sitting next to Moni Love while he's spitting his verse. While God bless the dead, while Dave's spitting his verse, and you could tell Moni Love loved that line because when she says, she's like, only times you know was Ices. Like she said that shit hard as hell to the point that when you watch the video, Dave is looking at her like, you good? Yo, dope record, man. Dope record. It's a lot of dope joints on that album. Obviously, Stakes is High is like the biggest record and the title track from there. Mosaic Thump, another underrated De La joint. One of the best things about the Mosaic Thump album is actually the Ghost Weed interludes, yo. The Ghost Weed interludes and shit, where it's like, yo, you smoke weed, and then it changes your voice to sound like your favorite rapper. So they do it with like Redman, they do it with Indeed, they do it with I think Pharoah Monch is on one of the joints. Yeah, it's super dope, super dope. But some of my favorite songs from the joint, what's the shit? I See Y'all with Busta, like Through Your City with DV Alias Christ, one of the best voices in hip hop, underrated artist. What's the joint? Ain't All Good with Shaka Khan, underrated joint. It's good vibes, man. Again, this ain't one of their best records, but there are some dope songs on this album for sure. Like The Art of Getting Jumped. The Art of Getting Jumped was dope too. I used to love that joint. Shout out to Freddie Fox, who's on the outro of the album. But yeah, man. So that's just some of my recommendations. I could talk about De La all day. Again, one of my favorite groups all time. Potholes in My Lawn. Classic. Plug Tuning. Stays Me, Myself, and I. Troubled Water with DJ Honda. Ooh, yeah, fam. They got joints, man. By any chance you ever heard of a group called Strange Fruit Project? Of course. Shout out to them for their Winter Fresh commercial that they had back in the day. But shout out to Strange Fruit Project, man. They're super dope too. Used to listen to their stuff back in the day. Let's get to some of these comments. Hey Josh, man, thank you, man. Peep mine, let me know what you think. Yeah, I definitely like your list as well of De La recommendations. You know, and again, man, thank you for the contribution to the channel, man. Thank y'all, man. Y'all came through today. I appreciate all the love, man. Definitely. But yeah, man. Again, shout out to De La Soul on the new album. New album is called Cabin in the Sky. Rest in peace, Dave, man. Rest in peace, Dave. I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all. We've lost a lot of hip hop artists over the years. And I'll be real, man, like I've loved a lot of these artists like in their music. But if I'm being super real with you, I haven't not every time one of these artists has died, even when I've been like fans of their stuff, did I really kind of go through it emotionally. Like when Dave from De La died, yo, like I was effed up. Like my wife can confirm this. Like, because, I think I've reflected on their music and what it's meant to me a lot. And De La is one of them groups that, like, I don't want to say they're like it's either like a hate them or love them type of thing. Um, but I do know people where for some people that's very much what it is. Like either they love these dudes or they don't rock with them at all. And then there's a lot of people where it's like, oh yeah, I kind of know this, but I'm one of those people that's on the love side of the tracks, and I feel like, man, if we're just being honest, without Eli, you don't get an artist like me. You know what I mean? They were doing something groundbreaking, fam. Like they were really they're bold in ways that a lot of artists aren't. You know what I mean? Especially in this day and age where, because even when they came out back in the day, hip hop was, even the artists who weren't like quote unquote trying to make, they weren't we weren't fully being exposed to music that was really just like death, disrespect, and you know what I mean, just like violence and all. Like that wasn't that that really didn't become the thing just yet, but that was right around the corner, right? Like their album drops, and then like a year later, that's NWA comes, because if I'm not mistaken, I feel like 3 Feet High and Rising came out 88, and somebody can check me check the to make sure, so I ain't waste time looking for the link right now. But and then the following year we get Straight Outta Compton, you know what I mean, with NWA, and then gangster rap becomes like synonymous with rap music to the point where it's like people immediately go to negative. Like if you Google hip hop right now, it's going to show you a lot of images that are associated with some of the more negative things in hip hop or rap music versus like the positive stuff that exists. Like in order to find the positive thing in hip hop that don't necessarily kind of push certain agendas or put up certain messaging, you literally have to put the word positive in front of it, or like be super specific. Where like we're at a point now where hip hop is associated with negativity, right? Like more times than not. And that's usually when we're talking to people who aren't a part of the culture, if we're being honest. You know what I mean? Um, and so, yeah, it's weird, man. But shout out to De La, because yo, I'll say it time and time again, man. Like, you don't have if we don't have De La, you probably don't have artists like me. You know what I mean? Because I'm a dude that grew up in an environment that was very I grew up like with family who were really in the streets. Like not like just kind of like I had. Of course, we all got the folks who were chilling and like they really just trying to stay out the way and stuff. And then I got other family like, nah, bro. Like they're the ones doing the things that you hear about in certain communities. Like, and I ain't talking about like distant cousin, you know what I mean? I'm talking about like my father, my uncles, et cetera, et cetera. And then of course like my cousins, um, like who were really out here. And so, but De La just kind of represented a lot of us that like those things went on, like were going on, but we very much were, how can I put it? Um, we very much were, man, what's the way to say it? Like, yo, shout out to Styles P. Styles P said, man, and I should find this clip and repost it, and then just really kind of do a rant, like talking about it. But he basically was saying not enough gets said about the dudes who come up in the street or who are around the shit. They in the hood proper, like in some of the worst neighborhoods, and they good dudes. They don't get caught up in the shit. He was like, bro, those might be some of the hardest niggas from where we're from. And he basically was just saying like not enough gets said about that dude. Like, did you do that? That's amazing. Like, I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but that was the overall message of what he was saying. And so that's why I love a lot of music so much, because it reflected that. Like, these are dudes that, that granted they grew up like Long Island a lot of their times, but if I'm not mistaken, Paz, I think was from the Bronx, somewhere like that prior to that. Um, And so, but yeah, like I think my biggest issue I have with some of the quote unquote street shit in the culture. It's not like I don't listen to the shit too and don't appreciate it. But it's just like, man, like I just like, yo, we keeping it, but a lot of these niggas are caricatures, man. Like, some of these dudes, this is really who they are. And a lot of them that make music nowadays, like this is a costume for them. This is like, yo, this is what they think rap music is supposed to be. So they put on their costume and they pretend to be that. Because the fact of the matter is, as somebody who grew up in this shit, right? Not just hip hop, I'm just talking about the quote unquote streets, the hood, whatever the fuck you want to call it. As somebody who grew up in that and was really around it, like literally seeing people get shot like in front of me, you know what I mean? Like, been going, having homies like getting murdered or dying like while in high school and shit. Like, as somebody who grew up seeing these things, you know what I mean? The truth of the matter is, most people that are from these environments, most people aren't doing the things that are in these records. Most. That's the truth. That's the truth. We saw the shit. We knew who the people are. And a good reflection of this is when you hear about a school that's bad, right? And I'm gonna talk to you from the perspective of somebody who works in the schools or has worked in the schools, right? You hear about like these schools that are bad, and here's the truth about the quote unquote schools that are bad. Um, and I'm talking from the perspective of somebody who's worked in education for 25 years, in particular, working mostly with at-risk youth is what they labeled them as for the longest. At like Title One schools have the challenges. If we're being honest, the bad stuff that you're hearing about, like, is done by a small percentage of students. It's not the whole school. The school has gotten a reputation based off of, let's say it's a school with like high school where I attended, and then I also graduated from, and then I later worked there. Like, we're talking about a school that has a reputation based off of like what maybe 100 to 200 students have done, right? Now I'm talking about like from the big fights and the violence to the thing happening in the neighborhood around the school by students and shit like that. We're not talking about the majority of the kids, and I'm talking about like the high profile, like violent shit. Not like, just like skipping class or like the mild shit that happens at every school. I'm talking about like the hyper violent stuff, weapons coming in the school, this, that, and the third. And I don't want to downplay the number. Like, if it's 100 kids doing it, like, that's not a lot. But if we're talking about a school that has over 2,000 students, it's making my point. It's not the majority. And the problem I have with the depiction of both hip hop, or like we're just keeping it real, black people in general, to the point that some of us are drinking the Kool-Aid and buying into the shit, where we're oftentimes like, like have this harder exterior and shit like that, or like this harder exterior and like, got this mask or whatever. We're in defense mode 9 times out of 10 because we're in a country, number one, that even though we're American, doesn't see us as real Americans. You know what I mean? And then also, associates with some of the worst things that happen in this country, even when we're not a majority of people responsible for those things happening. Strictly based on facts, not my feelings. Not my feelings. Based on factual information that anybody who's being serious and having a real conversation can look up and see for themselves, right? But again, folks drinking Kool-Aid, they buying the bullshit. And so we perpetuate these things when the truth of the matter is the majority of us aren't participating in the shit that people make it seem like this is the only thing that happens in the neighborhood. That's it. When's the last time you heard niggas rap about a block party? When? Now, as somebody who grew up in the black community, in the black community, in multiple black communities, I've been to a ton of those fucking block parties. But when has it been the center of a fucking song? When? How many of those songs exist? And I ain't talking about like club shit. We got enough. I'm talking about like there are specific things. The reason why I did the song Barbecue, like on my sacrificial lamb joints, is because that's such a part of what our experience is growing up in black communities. But who the fuck makes songs about it? Who? So I'm telling you, I'm calling bullshit on a lot of this. And let's be real, some of us are guilty of perpetuating the shit too, right? But the reality of it is, companies that usher this shit out to us, who sit in these meetings, listen to a record that that an artist produces, like, oh nah, we don't think this is gonna work, blah blah blah. We need more of it. I've literally been in meetings where they were encouraging me to spit more negative shit or hard or shit, this, that, and the third, even when I was leaning to I was already doing my battle rap shit, but like there's been multiple times in my career where people have tried to push even some of my socially conscious friends. You know, I ain't gonna call nobody out by name. I've literally been told by my socially conscious friends who go out here and march, put positivity, work in schools. Yo, I wish you would curse more. Yo, I wish your shit was a bit harder. Yo, I like like I've even been encouraged to do more of that by people who are actively fighting some of the shit like that perpetuates the bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, fam, can't win out this month. Can't win. Like it's crazy, fam. But anyway, man, I'm ranting and I'm going on and on about this shit right now. Hey man, shout out to Joshua for contributing twice, man. Appreciate it, bro. If I could say I would, how De La was a beacon for your generation to be something different or more than what is. You were that to me and a lot of us. Man, hey bro, thank you so much, man. Really, really appreciate that, man. Thanks for the kind words and thank you for the contribution, bro. Josh been a real one, man. I hope your family's doing good too, bro. All right. Let's see. Christopher says, and a lot of the ones that are living that life are in jail or dead or always got something going on with the courts. Super real. Super real. Because if you really had all of the things going on, like all of the things that you're rapping about going on, if you had all of that going on, how much time for rap would you really have? Now, again, I'm not saying that none of these dudes ain't doing it. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying to you is that the majority of us do not. You know what I mean? And I feel like sometimes when I listen to the music, and I ain't talking about everybody who makes rap music. I'm talking about black folks who make rap music. That's who I'm talking about right now. And the narrative has become that like if you're black and you do this, this is what you talk about. And again, man, I'm calling bullshit on it all. Like, yo, like that ain't you are not required to rap about certain shit just because you're black and make rap music. Like, yo, there's a lot of shit we're doing that ain't got nothing to do with some of that. A lot of like, come on, man, let's be real. Think about this. Think about this shit. I want you to think about black women in rap music. In rap. Like black women who make rap music, right? And what's crazy is we've gotten to a point now where it's like black women who rap, and I ain't here to tell them what they should rap about, but I find it interesting because it perpetuates certain stereotypes that have been associated with black women since the birth of this nation, right? That was put on us by people who don't look like us, like the whole like over sexualizing them, like literally putting women on display, not just on the auction block, but like in general, like circuses that would go around. I'm reading this book right now called Medical Apartheid, which talks about like the way like black people were paraded around. You know what I mean? And whether it was like one brother who was a pygmy, who was like very small, like 4'11", who was put in cage, like literally put in a cage in the New York Zoo, along with a gorilla and a chimpanzee, or is a orangutan, I think a chimpanzee or some shit like that, like and paraded around, like was in the zoo. In the zoo, blacks back then, black Americans back then were protesting this shit back in the day. Like this shit ain't as far. This stay focused. My point is this: the reason why I bring up the thing with the black women thing is like if your only interaction with black women is through music and through the music that only a certain group of them make, I'm talking about the most popular ones nowadays, you would think that black women are mainly a particular way. You wouldn't associate them with being the most educated people in this country per capita, right? Like black women are some of the most educated people in this country when it comes to college education. You know what I mean? But keep in mind, there are some that rap. Even with all their education, there are some that rap. Because some would say, well, it's like, of course you don't see that in rap music, because if they doing all of that, they ain't think about rapping. No, that's not true. That's not true. There's a whole, I forget her name, but there's a rapper right now who's been going viral for years, be rapping in her doctor's joint, like she's a full doctor, but be sitting in the car in her break making videos rapping. She a doctor, fam. Still find the time to write rhymes and release records and shit. Think she put out stuff with like old soul music or something like that. Like, this is a real thing. And she's not the only one. She's not the only super educated like black woman. And I'm not saying it all needs to be this. Don't get it fucked up. Don't twist my words. I ain't saying I only want that type of rap. What I'm just saying is, like, who we are as a people is not accurately reflected through most of the music that people think of when they think of rap. And so rap as a genre is not an accurate depiction anymore, I should say. And I don't know if it ever was, of who black people are. You know what I mean? It's hyper focused on a part of our culture. But that part of our culture is not the entirety of black culture in this country. You know what I mean? And so it's important as an outsider coming into this, that when you listen to the shit, you understand that. And it's also important as black people who listen to this and support shit like that. We hold our artists, our community accountable for our participation in the shit, whether that is just making it, because it's easy to criticize the people who make it, but it's harder for those of us who support it to stay focused and make sure that, yo, it's cool that you like this shit over here. And I'm not saying you can't like both, because I absolutely like, yo, I love Sean Price. Sean Price ain't out here, he ain't making no kumbaya, bring the world together shit. Like, right, that wasn't the type of music he made, but I loved his music. You know what I mean? And I can keep going for my artists that are like my guilty pleasure artists and shit, where it's like, yo, this is not what I listen to when my children are in the car. So there's room for it all. I'm just saying is we're seeing it in real time right now in rap, where there's an effort to push things that, like, basically, like, folks are trying to dumb down the genre, and by default our culture, because some people they're not educated enough, or they're not knowledgeable enough, is probably the better way to say it, to understand that there's a difference between rap and hip hop. They just think they're synonymous. They think they're one and the same. They are not the same thing. One is culture, the other one's a genre of music, right? Rap is what you do, hip hop is what you live. But there are people who don't know how to differentiate the two. So anyway, man, I'll be going on this shit forever. Like, I'm gonna calm down. But yeah, man. Go through these comments. You don't gotta follow that shit just because you're around it. Don't gotta be swallowed up by it. That's real. That's real. We all got choices. We are the sum of our choices. And like, I learned that shit young, man. Look, it's a miracle I don't smoke. Come on, bro. I'm black and I rap. Like, you know how much time, like, without even me trying to buy it, you know how much like weed was like offered to me? You know what I'm saying? Like, how many times I said no, I'm good. And before I started drinking, how much alcohol was offered to me, and I'm like, nah, I'm good. And then it's like, yo, even like if we're talking about some of the other things, sex and all this, and for how much I've been like, how much I've done, right? I've done my share. It's like, yo, it's dwarfed by the amount of times I've said, nah, I'm good. Appreciate appreciate you, but nah, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? And so it's hard. People talk about the other shit, like the action, like the doing it, like it's the hardest shit. That's easy. Especially you when you come up around certain environments, the shit's everywhere, right? Or not everywhere, but it's around. It's around enough where it's like you wouldn't be surprised if someone falls into that because it's around when you're in like a low income community, and that's important to point out too. It ain't just around in black people communities. If you go to a low income community, chances are you have easy access to violence, drugs, sex, etc. You just got easy access to it by default in certain communities. And so the harder thing to do is to see the shit, have the tools or whatever. Preferably, someone gave you the tools to be able to discern like what's the better path to take. And again, and that's just assuming you got the right people around you. And I think that those of us who don't make those decisions, and let me be clear, it's not that I never did, and it's like, yo, and that's the shit that annoys me too. Like when people make assumptions because you on some like positive shit that you never were exposed to it, or that you never did these things. I'm like, it's wild being like criticized or made fun of, or like you're not like you soft or something by someone that I know has not been in more physical fights than me. Like I know you haven't. Because I know you, I actually know you. And I know you don't have a reputation for throwing hands. But what you don't know is that like I intentionally made sure that when I fought, enough people were present so that when I fucked this person up, this would keep me out of other fights. So it's like I had to be strategic. I was like, ain't no point of beating this person ass when no one's around. So it's like we clearly got a problem. All right, I just moved in this neighborhood. Let me wait till some people around. Boop, bap, boop. All right, now I ain't gotta fight it no more around here because now people know I can fight. So they'll make their jokes and do the things and stuff like that. But they also know, oh, he ain't a complete pushover. You see what I'm saying? So like, and there's a ton of people, man, so many fucking people, so many people that this is their truth, right? This is their life. Man, I don't even know how we got here. Anyway, hey, what up, fam? Everybody names changing. What's going on, Mr. McCollins? I hope the one wheel's holding up. I don't know if you gave it to your friend yet, but thank you again, fam. All right. Didi Buddha says, hey, sub, my favorite hip hop artist all time. Oh, man, I'm honored, fam. Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate the love. Yeah, just a reminder to grab some merch. Just a heads up too, so y'all know. So next week, Black Friday and stuff, I will be posting new merch to the store. I'm currently updating our store at subartandmusic.com, so look out for that. Peer pressure is in certain communities always skews people's perception of what they themselves actually want. Super real, 1000%. Couldn't agree more. Truthfully, we need more artists like you that represent what hip hop is really about. Man, look, I appreciate that. Thank you. And I think that I'm not trying to tell everybody, be like me, do what I do, this, that, and the third. Look, you should do what's best for you, right? But this is the path I'm walking. The old saying is more is called and taught. You know what I mean? So I could tell you shit all day, but anybody that spent time with me know that I move a particular way. You know what I mean? And to be clear, like my life has not been this perfect. Like it's not been this perfect journey. I've made lots of mistakes. I'm still gonna make mistakes. You know what I mean? But it's like the important part is learning from said mistakes and knowing how to move forward. And more than just talking to y'all, I might do these weekly updates, but like, yo, we talk once a week, couple hours. I'm out here living. I'm out here doing, you know what I mean? Like, so, that's the most important part about it, man. Like, do your research. Like, don't just follow these videos and stuff and people like me that's online talking about hip hop culture and shit like this. Yo, this culture has been around for decades now, right? 50 plus years. So there are lots of books that are like written by people who've been vetted by this community. There are hip hop education conferences, that happen in cities all around the country. It ain't as publicized as like, who's sleeping with who or what rapper shot at whoever. It ain't as publicized, but these things happen. I just attended one at Howard University last weekend. Hip hop education conferences that happen all over, where people are discussing technology, how it can be used to further certain things, further growth of communities, expose young people to more things, etc. But most importantly, educate people on what hip hop culture really is, on what the shit really is, how knowledge is a fifth element of it, but that shit isn't as marketable as a long list of other things, you know what I mean, that are also a part of the culture. So yeah, man, it's just like for me, it's about like, culture is not a one, it's not a sport, but it's if it was, it's sure as hell not a spectator sport, and the genres have turned like aspects of it has turned into sport, and make no mistake about it, I am entertained by those aspects of it. But first and foremost, it's expression. It's art. Before it was competition, before it became sport, before it was anything else, it was about expression and art. It's an extension of this culture we call hip hop. Each of these elements, and it's important that like those of us who care about this continue to do the work, but most importantly, those younger than us, right? And I know a lot of y'all who watch this channel, or sit here through these journeys. I know a lot of y'all are younger than me, so I'm just doing. If you ain't got an OG in your life, and I pray that's not the truth, but if you ain't got someone older in your life or whatever, that's just trying to give you different perspective, but most important, talking about shit that they actually have done, right? Situations they've really been present for. They ain't just repeating shit that they heard somewhere. Like, what I'm talking to y'all about is life experience, like what my life has actually been. And regardless of what little jokes somebody might have to say or someone's opinion of how big of an artist I am and why you should give a fuck or not, it's like, yo, they ain't me. They're not here. They're not here. If their name is Rochelle Etienne Robinson, they're not my wife. If they're not my wife, they ain't one of my siblings. They ain't one of the homies I don't know. Like, some of my friends have been in like 40 years. 40 years. If they ain't none of these people, fuck what they talking about. They don't know what my day-to-day is. But people in my community, they don't. Those of you who show up every week, follow along, been on this ride a bit longer, it's like you know I ain't here selling you no shit that ain't real. I ain't selling you nothing. This is who I am. You take it or leave it. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, man, I just think like across the culture needs more accountability. More important, we need those of us who actually know what this shit is really about, doing the work and spending time with people younger than themselves. Not just hanging with your peer group, but building with the younger community. And that don't mean everybody got to go out and become a teacher. What it means that if you got kids, if you got young cousins, like, when's the last time you've been to a family function and actually spent time in the room talking to a bunch of the young ones, like the ones who are younger than you, right? Like time talking to them about what they listen to. I get in back and forth with my younger cousins and shit like that all the time. All the time. One of the conversations was like kind of talking about the relevancy of like certain artists in hip hop. This is a person like 20 plus years younger than me. And like, yo, we were talking for like an hour plus about what the thoughts were. We were talking about the Kendrick Lamar and Drake battle, all of the things, and they had some takes that were not mine. The not things I agree with at all. But I heard her out. And then I gave cultural context. I was like, yo, I understand why you like what you like, right? Can you confirm you listen to this because of this? Do you like, how about your peers? Do they listen to this because blah, 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 this and the third? I'm like, all right, how many times have you actively searched for new music, right? It wasn't just handed to you or like curated for you, this, that, and the third. How many times have you heard a lesser known artist on a project and actually take the next step of going to listen to more of their work and then found more lesser known? Just like, when's the last time you done that? Right? Like, all right, did you know that this place that you're talking about is the birthplace of this? This comes from, like, these are things they don't know because they're not spending time around people who actually know it, and the ones who do know it, talk to them about it. So whose fault is that? It's not theirs. It's us. So like, yo, like, so I do these things whether it's this or all of this other stuff, is because like, yo, like I'm invested in this culture. This culture literally saved my life. You know what I mean? And that ain't no metaphorical shit. It's not something that's I bought a T-shirt somewhere and that shit sounds cool to say. Like for me, it actually did. You know what I mean? Y'all have heard the stories of like some of y'all have like of me going somewhere to do music and then coming home and people I work with all the time being shot. Like, so this shit literally saved my life in some instances. It kept me out of trouble, right? It gave me opportunity. The same thing that people associate with trouble and problems actually saved people like me, saved our lives, right? And that part of it doesn't get talked about enough, you know? Anyway, to the comments. Let's see. Let me know when I can. Yeah, send questions through. Clearly, I'm gonna be on here for like maybe another 10 minutes, 15 minutes tops. All right, because I got some business I gotta handle right after. Oh yeah, man, buddy was so excited when we went riding for like 2 hours. Laughed a lot. Showed him the vid and all. Shout out to AJ Rio. Man, that's dope, man. That warms my heart. We're talking about the one wheel joint. Video's lagging a bit. I am sorry to hear about that. Damn. Let me make sure I adjust some Wi-Fi stuff on my end. Hold on. Hold tight, y'all. Let's see. I'm gonna switch something up on my end and see if it improves for the connection. All right. Hopefully, it gets fixed. Um. All right. Hold on. So hopefully the connection gets a little bit better. I'm sorry that's a little shaky and stuff. I'm doing what I can on my end. All right. Hey man, shout out to Wise Guy in the building, man. All right. Let's see. You hold more weight than Malcolm X in my book. I don't know about all that. I'm gonna stop you right there. I don't agree with that personally. You know what I mean? I know what like reading about Malcolm X when I was young and learning about him. I know what it's done for a lot of brothers who look like me in my community. So while I appreciate the sentiment, um, I think it can be true that if you maybe haven't learned as much about certain people, but there are other folks, whether it's me or somebody else in your life, that like just had more impact on you. I can see that, you know what I mean? But for me personally, it's like it's uncomfortable for me just because like I know what learning about him and learning about like the changes he made in his life and the journey, like in his journey down through change, whatever, throughout his life until he was killed. Like that, know how inspiring that has been for people like me and so many others. It really showed that like, yo, we're not one thing. We can be more, right? And his path, for better or for worse, like the good and the great things that Malcolm did and the mistakes that he made along the way. Like it's an amazing story, and I really think I'm glad I learned about him when I did. I first heard his name like elementary school, but I didn't read his book until I was in middle school, like seventh grade or something like that. But yeah, rest in peace to the ancestor Malcolm X. For real, Shy, it's like when certain people hear jazz and call it elevator music. Oh man, I feel like I missed the comment to get context for what y'all talking about. And yo, and I'm sorry if it's still lagging for y'all, man. Hold on. In terms of hip hop being generalized and looked down on, I think you summed it up really well in my favorite things. No other genre can accomplish the thing hip hop is. Yo, it's super real. Like hip hop has done more with less. Like I don't even know if it's debatable, right? Like when you realize what gave birth to hip hop, right? The circumstances in which hip hop came from, literally the phrase or sentence, something out of nothing. Like it goes in hand what hip hop now. I won't go like as far as saying there was nothing happening like in the South Bronx at the time and stuff like that. But in terms of like what resources this community had access to, in terms of how the city or state that it's a part of in terms of how we viewed it, right? Like when we talk about like a dump, it's a dumpster fire. Like this is a place where those type of things were actually happening, where people were burning down buildings to collect insurance money. And to think that it burned something that literally brought communities around the city together, and then became a worldwide phenomenon that helped employ people, that helped lift people up out of like really crazy, like inspired people to become educators, inspired people to create nonprofits, and inspired folks to like, you know, not just make music, but like make music that impacted the world in a real way. You know, this culture did that, and those parts of the culture don't get talked about enough. You know, this is why we rock with you, brother. Man, I appreciate it, fam. I appreciate you, man. And still approved by 2 out of 3 Kevins. I appreciate y'all, man. Okay, I'm sorry, but the way the video keeps lagging and freezing on your face mid sentence is getting me. Oh man, it's still messing up. Um, damn, yo. Yeah, I'm sorry, man. Might be my cue. It looks like it's running a bit smoother right now. Hopefully, man, it stops. I know I got a ton of shit going on over here. Let me close. And it's sad because you know we done gone through so much stuff already. It's kind of like we're wrapping up. So what's the point of it now? But yeah. So it looks like it's running smoother now. Let me know if any of the stuff I just did helped. But yeah. All right. Let's see. Peace. What up? What up? Hey, what up, Gaston? Yo, both of y'all in here? Hey, man. What up, fellas? That's dope, man. That's dope. Good to see y'all up in this joint, man. So first, hate to bring it up, but I want to hear your thoughts on the recent Nicki Minaj thing. Was it speaking at? I forget where she spoke at. Wasn't it UN or some shit like that? But I know what you're referring to. Yeah, man. And now it looks like it's lagging again. Yeah, I don't know what's up with my connection, man. Hold on. I'm seeing what I can do to fix things on my end. I don't know if there's much I can do to fix it. But man, hold on. Let's see. If I close this out, maybe it'll run a little better. Again, man, all right, y'all, for all the technical issues. I'm doing what I can to resolve it. Would just kind of refresh the browser, but it's gonna, if it boots me off, whatever, it might make things worse off. So I'm doing what I can to close out certain things I know that don't need to be open right now, and hopefully that helps. But yeah, man. So yo, my thoughts on the thing is just it's interesting seeing people kind of move from uh being associated with, like, because they're from a certain community, because they make a certain type of music and stuff like that, people don't think of them as conservative or having conservative views. But I think like when we see the stuff with Nicki, when we see the recent comment by Pharrell, and a lot of this stuff, like a lot of times, one could say that there's a correlation between the amount of success and money that they've seen over the years and who they're spending their time with, and how like maybe they are becoming a bit out of touch and stuff, like with the communities they come from. And that's very real. Like, I think the hardest thing, even for somebody like me who's clearly not like on their level of what the industry deems as successful, and all of that. But even somebody who's on an indie level like me and like on the least popular side of this game, it's easy to become out of touch with certain things because, quite frankly, man, I'm spending most of my time around my family, right? Around some like-minded people, and then I travel a lot, so I'm spending my time around a lot of other communities, which in some ways grounds me, right? And kind of keeps my eyes open to certain things, but it also can make you very out of touch with the people that you came up around. But yeah, man, and so I think I'm not surprised by it at all. And she's had some not so great takes in recent years and shit about like different artists or taking issue with certain things where I'm like, yeah, I don't know. It seems like something else is going on over there. But I'll just be real, like I don't have outside of what I've already said, I don't know if I have enough information on her situation, this, that, and the third to really say much more than that. But it just seems like more of what we've already seen, and like just one of the many things that people in these positions will do. They'll call in other folks or whatever who they think are the voices of our communities and going to get the attention of us or whatever to become the face of certain things, and by default they become a distraction, right? um and kind of keep us focused on shit that maybe isn't the most important thing that we should be worried about. But I appreciate you bringing that up, man. All right. Also, gotta ask this one again because you misread it last time. Who's an artist not in hip hop? Okay. You would most want to work with. That's a great one. Um, Not in hip hop. Who I would most want to work with? Um, South Penguin. I mean, I would like. I want to do. I mean, I sampled their stuff when I made 1580, but I really like their music, so I love to do some more stuff with them, or do something official with them out. I mean, it was official because we got contracts and everything, but do like a real collaboration where we made like a new song together. I think that would be super dope. Um, Although Rob Araujo has to do some hip hop, like I think I found like a little bit that he's done. Like he's an amazing like jazz musician, and I would love to do some collabs with him. We've actually been talking behind the scenes about doing something down the road, but I'd like to do something with him. I like cartoons as well, who's super dope. Um, you know, oh, what's his name, man? Um, Trying to think of this other artist. I was just thinking of trying to think of some more of the non hip hop folks. I have like a little list somewhere. I'm trying to remember who are some of the names I put down because I was actually thinking about this not too long ago. But yeah, I mean, like it'd like be someone. And again, this is somebody who's not a hip hop artist but has produced for some hip hop artists. I'd love to do some shit with like Robert Glasper. Robert Glasper is amazing. Um, mm, who else? Yeah, those are just a few folks off the top of my head, but would be dope. Would be dope. Let's see. All right, get a couple more questions, then I'm gonna get out of here. Uh, okay. Oh, it's good now. Okay, good, good, good. The connection is good now. My bad. Sis, I just peeped that hoodie. Tough, man. Thank you, fam. Appreciate it, man. Oh, we can still hear you even though it's like, okay, cool, cool. That's good to know. Yeah, she spoke at the UN. It was mad crazy to see in real time pandering like that. Yeah, I mean, people people are always gonna do what they can to create certain alliances to give them access to things and people, resources, right, that they maybe can't get on their own. I think part of the reason why one of the biggest advantages you have as being someone who's completely independent largely is that you know it's you're not as tempted to kind of like do things that really people wouldn't associate you with or expect you to see you in these places, because the truth of the matter is you really don't give a shit. Like, because if you did, you would have already been looking into like how I can go down this route. But then someone presents you an opportunity like, hey, you know like what you represent. We really like your fan base. We really like what you got access to. And we could really use a face like yours, a presence like yours, to speak on our behalf and talk about these things that we care about, and we think you care about it, right? So yeah, we need you to do this for us, right? And by doing this for us, we're gonna get access to this. We're gonna give you these opportunities. We're gonna like, and man, like, don't don't underestimate like what access to that type of power and opportunities or whatever, how it will make people bend. Um, And I know, man, like I ain't saying no one's ever come to me. Like I'm not saying that people come to me with those type of opportunities or these type of things and try to sway me a particular way to be the face of things. It's like what I experience is small scale. But make no mistake about it. Like I get hit up with opportunities that on the low end, right? Like, a little cheap. It's like 2-digit opportunities, right? And then some days 10, 10 plus digits, you know what I mean? Was offering tens of thousands of dollars or whatever to buy my like catalog, which ain't shit really. Sounds like a lot of money, but as somebody who's been making money doing this, those numbers a lot of times don't really like. I got hit up yesterday, is like someone's trying to buy exclusive rights for like one particular thing from me, and they just want it for a year, and the number they're offering is like several $1,000s, right? Now on the surface that might seem like a great opportunity because you're like, oh, streams don't make a lot anyway. But like the reality of it is understanding how to be in this business and understanding the power I have by owning my catalog, but also understanding the importance of owning IP, like having control over intellectual property, and also spending a lot of times, this is a conversation my wife and I just had, spending a lot of times around people who go out of their way to buy up artist catalogs. Like I've been in the room with these people, I've spoken to them, and I understand why they do it. But I also understand that a lot of these things I'm doing, while it may seem small scale to others, based on the amount of people, just the amount. Like in the last month, at least 4 to 5 folks have come along trying to buy my catalog. Just in the last month. Okay? Just in the last month. Not even talking all time, just in the last month. So folks come through offering different things. Now, like there's also been times where people hit me up about like participating in things that associated with campaigns, and like throughout my career, you'd be surprised what's coming my way. But the reason why you don't always see me doing this stuff or like doing a lot of things associated with sponsors and certain products and shit like that, it's not because it doesn't come my way. It's just because I've built my career a certain way where I don't need to do that. So that way, if you see me do it, just know that it ain't a money grab. It's because I really believe in the shit. Because I don't need that money. Like my life's pretty good. Pretty good. Not good because I make a lot of money. It's good because of like the family I have and what I have around me. So it's put me in a position where I ain't gotta jump through hoops or tap dance or do all of this stupid shit that I see people do. You know what I mean? And y'all take that shit how you want to take it. But I ain't gotta do those things or whatever to have a good life. Because what my definition of a good life is doesn't require me to have extravagant things. You know what I mean? My kids performing well. My daughter's applied to 6 colleges over the last few weeks. She's already been accepted to 2. It's a good fucking life, man. My youngest daughter doing pretty good in school. Could be doing better, but yo, she's happy. You know what I mean? Both of my kids are happy. That's a good life. My wife, 21 years together, right? 27 years together, 21 married. Like happy. We're doing good things. That's a good life. You know what I mean? And sure, I make some money doing what I love doing. Also equates to a good life. Why the fuck I need to do this other stuff they talking about? Why? How does it enhance my life? It maybe furthers your agenda, and then you give me a little something that it's cool for the meantime. Maybe it helps me pay down some debt. You know what I'm saying? But it ain't gonna really change my life in a meaningful way. So I ain't gotta do it. But other folks, they greedy. They already got more than they need, and they still jumping out here doing wild shit because they want more. They want more. And I got what I wanted. You know what I mean? I got most of what I've wanted in life. I've gotten. You know what I mean? And there's other things I still want to do, but it's not about like it's not just material shit. Like there's Like I want certain experiences, and I know how to get those experiences without doing other stupid shit. So I just wish more people. I ain't saying more people need to be like me. It's just like people just need to realize they got to do a lot of what they doing. You know what I mean? To get what they want to get. This is the same woman that voted for Mitt Romney. Go figure. Jesus. It's 1:56. Don't good reminder. Don't you want to go past your 2 hours? I believe you said the cutoff. So yeah, I started late today. So because I started late, I probably got like 5 minutes before the cutoff. But thank you for the reminder for sure. Let's see. Is there a Korean artist you admire or want to work with? I think it would be interesting to hear. Um, I have worked with some folks or whatever. I can't think of any new ones off the top of my head. But I've worked with a few Korean artists in the past and stuff. So I'm definitely open to it. But like going off the top of my mind or whatever, like yeah, I couldn't give you a few names right now. But one artist I worked with was one of the first early in my career. A lot of people, I mean, he lives in Japan and stuff like that and is a resident of Japan, but a lot of people don't realize the verbal of M Flow, aka L Universe from Lyrical Terrorists. He's actually Korean, not Japanese. Even though he's like a J-pop artist, you know what I mean, and all of that, and is a part of a Japanese group. But he's actually a Korean artist that I worked with in the past and stuff. And then y'all know I done the one joint, but again, man, I got to think about it a little bit. Cause off the top of my head, there's a few artists I listen to that may or may not be Korean. I just don't know. So I gotta let you know. Yo, Kamasi Washington, that's definitely somebody I would like to work with. That'd be fine. Have you ever played a Parappa the Rapper? Absolutely not. Or any other hip hop themed video games. I've never seen a hip hop game and be like, damn, I gotta play that. Never once in my life have I felt like that. I'm not hating on those games. It just always felt weird to me. And like, the little ick. So I don't have a real opinion on any of those hip hop games, whether they were good or not, because I just never played them. Because a lot of times I didn't look to video games to get like for my hip hop. You know what I mean? So it's just not something that came to mind or whatever when I saw them doing this stuff. Like, yeah, I gotta see what they're doing. 'Cause there's been a lot of times that when hip hop shows up in some of these new spaces that it maybe wasn't in before, that like they don't always do a great job, right? Like again, for me to even watch Samurai Champloo, it was vetted. Like before I watched it, right? It was co-signed by certain folks, obviously people I knew working on it, but then also like a family member of mine watching it ahead of time to tell me like what going in, because instantly, you know, I'm thinking about what I would do in terms of bringing it into that space. And and you have a certain vision of what it could be like with these things, but sometimes that's don't line up. And then when you see it, it's just like it feels weird. It feels more like a money grab than something authentic. But nah, I feel you though. All right. It says, I love you and your music, bro. A true legend. I found New Best a year ago as well, and he was something special. May God rest his soul and bless his family. Absolutely, man. Appreciate you. Flex that EJ collab. Oh yeah, I did also work with EJ, who's one of the vocalists. One of the vocalists worked on the K-pop Demon Hunters. So her and I did a song years ago. So I have worked with her as well, and she's a brilliant artist. But yeah, man. But on that note, folks, again, man, happy Friday. I'm gonna get out of here and wrap up now because I think we're right at the 2 hour mark because we start on time today. Sorry that the sound quality ain't what it normally is and stuff like that. My mic is down because my board has died, and I don't know why. So I'm gonna do some investigating to see if I can get it fixed or if I gotta replace the whole thing. But thank you so much to everyone who contributed today. Shout out to Happy Mochi and Lozo 175, man. Shout out to both of y'all for being channel members first and foremost. Which reminds me, hold on before we go, just to get this back up here because I know I didn't go through everything. a couple quick reminders, and then I'm out of here. So February 6th, mark your calendars. And those of you who don't mind traveling to the DMV, come to Virginia for the 25th anniversary celebration of To This Union the Sun Was Born. We're celebrating a few months early, but we're gonna have hotel information coming out real soon with tickets being available for this. We should be like securing a block of rooms for those of you who are willing to travel. That'll make it discounted rate, group rate that we're doing. So details coming with that. Other shows coming up. I'm in Madrid with Marcus D, March 22nd. Hold on, let me fix that image. March 22nd, catch me in Madrid with Marcus D next year. Also catch me at MomoCon, May 21st through the 24th with all the homies from Adult Swim to Lo-Fi, Alan Z, Aztec, Mega Ran, Stolen Drums, and Zed Tabani. And if you haven't already, consider joining my Patreon or becoming a member here at the YouTube channel. It's a great way to make things more sustainable over here, allow me to produce more content, and then also replace things when they break or stop working. So yeah, man, just I wanted to give you heads up on that. And lastly, Adultish 2.0 still out right now. On that note, I'm out of here, y'all. Man, hey, yo, Colin, man, thank you, man. Appreciate you. Clap it up for him on the way out. You know what I mean? Thank you so much for supporting, man. Definitely appreciate you, man. But yeah, man, shout out to everyone for watching today and supporting, yo. It's always appreciated, man. Y'all have an amazing weekend. An amazing weekend. Thank you to everyone for tuning in. Shout out to those of you new to the channel who actually jumped into the conversation today. I hope y'all had a good time. But I'm out of here. It's time for my daughter's favorite part of the show. Who made it to the end? You made it to the end. Peace. Who made it to the end? Who made it to the end? You made it to the end. Who made it to the end? Who made it to the end? You made it to the end. Yo, 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 yo. Who made it to the end? You made it to the end. Who made it to the end? You made it to the end. Who made it to the end? You made it to the end. Yo, 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 yo. Subscribe, like, do whatever you like. Stay subscribed, like, do whatever you like. That's right.